So we're joined here by Aaron Stark, familiar name, familiar face, because of your story, Aaron, that now has been viewed some 7 million times on the Next Facebook page alone. Your honest account of how you nearly became a school shooter at Denver's North High School back in the mid-1990s. Your message of spreading kindness has resonated with a lot of people. What has taken you by surprise in the last week?
The amount of outpouring of people who are sending me private messages that are explaining to me their deepest and darkest secrets that they've never told anyone, and they're writing me novel-length messages, just outstanding sharing that takes such courage. I'm just amazed. From all corners of the world. One of the most touching, it was either last night or the night before last, I got a message from a gentleman in Pakistan who told me that he was bullied constantly and he couldn't speak about it whatsoever because it might cost him his life where he was living. And he felt he could share with me, so he sent it. Because of all the massive outpouring, I started a Facebook page, a group for positivity. It immediately filled up with 700 members. And in that group, there's been at least 3 people who said they were on edge and felt suicidal that were able to get help and get support and come down off of that. There's another gentleman who was in a similar situation that I was, and as soon as I mentioned it, he messaged me and said that I felt I was exactly where you were, and I didn't feel I could ever speak. He's been talking on the Facebook page, even a little bit, and we just need to have this conversation. This is a really hard conversation to have, but it's so important.
All of these people reaching out to you, telling their stories of trouble to you, indicates to me that 20 years after your high school experience, there are still people who are desperate to find one person who will listen to them and care.
Yeah.
And
I've been trying.
That's tough, you know, because it tells me that there are folks exactly where you were, and you were at the brink.
Exactly, and I've been trying to respond to everybody. I've been trying to stay as engaged as possible because I don't think that this is something that should be done anonymously. We have enough of that anonymously. We don't need to have the faceless killer, the faceless crazy person. There's a face to depression. There's a face to it, and it's the face of everyone. I've gotten responses from every walk of life, from gun supporters to gun opponents, from extremely religious to extremely atheist, from every spectrum, Democrat and Republican, and they're all positive. I can literally count the amount of trolls I've received on one hand.
Now, that's a surprise to me. When you came forward as just Joe Q Public with a story to tell, did you know that there would be people, though, who would attack you for what you said?
Oh, absolutely.
And would try to discredit you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they would. They would attack everything that I would say. They would say that I'm trying to get fame, or I'm trying to ban guns, or whatever they think my message is trying to be. But I'm prepared for it. I'm comfortable with who I am. This is just my life. This is my normal. This is what I've lived with my entire life, and I've spoken with it with my family forever. I'm not ashamed of who I am.
You first composed your words about your experience at North High School. You first put together your thoughts about what happened to you, not for the public, for your family. What has your family's reaction been?
Oh, it's been so massive. It's been so supportive, absolutely so supportive. I could not be prouder of my family, and it was because of them. I got up in the morning and I had heard them kept on saying that I can't believe how someone could feel that way. I can't believe how someone could get to that point. And I've heard that a lot. That seemed to be a common refrain. And I can understand. And if I can illustrate it for them just a little bit, maybe it could help them. And I did not write it for any kind of attention. I wrote it just for my family, expected to get the normal 10 likes, couple comments. And it just I'm amazed and humbled by this response. I can't even imagine. I never thought that me talking about my darkest times could bring light to other people. And I just want to say, if the people who feel that they can talk to me and share their darkest secrets, if I can inspire them to do that, what could they inspire if they come out and talk?
You want other people to share those stories as well.
I do. This is not just me. This is a conversation that everybody has.
Any part of you, any slight part of you, regret attaching the stigma of mental health, possible danger to yourself, even all these years later?
No, not one bit. I've been comfortable with it my life. That's simply who I am. If I am not able to face that, then I just wouldn't be me.
Folks have reached out to us asking us to ask you how they can help the people in their community, knowing that a lot of them may not know who precisely needs that help? What would you say?
I would say, on a personal level, try to look for the people who are the least talked to, the people who are sitting quietly on the side. Odds are, in my opinion, the ones who are the most on edge are the ones who aren't going to be acting out. They're the ones who never get talked to and who seem invisible. If you see someone who doesn't talk very often, go talk to them. If it seems like they're the outcast, pull them into your social circle. If you have an organization that you see that might help, a support group, you try to get involved, get them involved. The biggest key that, in my opinion, is we have to normalize this because it is normal. Everyone feels this pain and isolation, this sense of loneliness and emptiness, even if it's different levels and different degrees throughout your life. I think that every one of us feels that. And if we can finally discover that that is the real bipartisan issue we can discuss, then maybe we could use it to bring our other issues together.
Aaron Stark, I thank you for sharing your story. I admire you for sharing your story. I think that you have made positive change and you've got people talking.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for listening. And thank you, everyone, more for talking.